The Cuban Ministry of Energy and Mines is working on restoring the national power grid after a failure that led to the nationwide power outage. South Korean lawmakers present a bill on Wednesday to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol following the declaration of martial law. The Syrian army generals command together with the armed forces struck positions of terrorist groups in rural areas of northern Aleppo and Idlib. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll be with the news. Stay with us. The Cuban Ministry of Energy and Mines reported they are working since early Wednesday morning on restoring the national power grid after the failure led to a nationwide power outages. Cuba's national electric company specifies that the power grid was fully disconnected at 2:08 a.m. local time due to the unexpected shutdown of the Antonio Guiterres thermoelectric plant. Reporting on the progress of recurrent efforts, the company unveiled that in the capital Havana, 3 hospitals and 58 circuits already has service, which represents 103,151 users. In this regard, the Ministry of Energy and Mines informed that the subsystems already in place are providing more than 220 megawatts for the restoration of the national power grid.
We think that today there will be a significant percentage of recovery. It will take us until tomorrow to reach the conditions in which the system was down, so that it can be online again, which would mean the national electric system has recovered. But it is already in a recovery process.
In the same context, the Minister of Labor and Social Security, Marta Elena Feito, informed that labor and teaching activities in the country are suspended due to the disconnection of the national power grid.
Given this emergency of the national electric power system, labor activities are suspended for the duration of this process and teaching activities are also suspended. However, based on the condition of a group of service, the basic services to the population will be maintained as usual and other services will be provided to the population as long as the condition allows.
On the date of Latin American medicine and health workers, Cuban physicians on duty in Haiti reaffirmed their historical commitment to the country. Unlike other countries, Cuba has never sent troops to its neighboring nation, only medical personnel. The Haitian people recognize the exhausted work of the Cuban medical mission, which have built up the pillars of the primary and community care. The Cuban medical mission does not have the press coverage of other organizations with less time and less impact on Haiti. However, Cuban doctors have a record of tasks and achievements in the Caribbean nation increasingly besieged by the violence, hunger, and poverty.
In these difficult times, in these harsh times, in these times in which the hearts of the Cubans have been put to the test, I can tell you that our people are of a unique lineage, our people are forged like steel, and our people are not even afraid of hardships and bad omens. We have been on duty for 26 years in these lands, in Haiti, in the most neglected places, in the most restricted places, doing wonders in favor of the health of the Haitian people. I think it is a unique experience, an exalting experience, an experience that makes you dream of what you never thought of, and I believe that we will never leave this place.
In Peru, the Latin American Network for Economic and Social Justice met on Tuesday in Lima to analyze the ultra-conservative offensive economic, social, and climate justice in the region. Within the discussions, the evasion of tax commitments of the great Latin American fortunes gained special relevance. 10% of Latin American millionaires concentrate 71% of the wealth of the entire region. However, they only pay 5.4% of taxes, according to the figures from the Economic Commission for Latin America and Caribbean, ECLAC. In this regard, meetings participants are organizing initiatives to offer alternatives to this very unequal model. On Tuesday, the Venezuelan National Assembly approved in first discussions the draft budget law for the financial year 2025 presented by the Executive Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. The legislative body highlighted truly revolutionary character of the project that marks the beginning of a new cycle in the political, social, and economic life of the Bolivarian nation. The president of the legislative body, Jorge Rodriguez, recalled that the current good health of the economy is a product of the resistance of the people and a norm that the parliamentarians are not discussing was born from popular powers. In Argentina, retirees marched in rejection of President Javier Milei's decisions to cut free medicines for senior citizens. For these demonstrators mobilized to headquarters of the Integral Medicine Assistance Program PAM-IN all over the country. The president's measure establishes that retirees who earn more than 389,000 Argentine pesos, that is less than a half of a basic food basket, will automatically stop receiving up to 5 medications, while senior citizens with higher incomes will have to pay for the prescribed drugs. It is worth highlighting this is not the first attack that retirees have received from the administration of La Libertad Avanza, as they suffered an abrupt cut in their income within the first month of Milei's government. The government of Argentina announced that foreigners are going to be charged for medical care and university education with the promotion of the reforms to the migratory regime. The presidential spokesperson Manuel Adorni justified the measure, arguing it will represent more funds for the universities. Adorni further informed about a new policy that seeks to tighten the conditions for entry and the reasons for expulsion of migrants, allegedly a measure to guard borders and protect the population. Let's take a very short break, but remember you can join us on our TikTok account as teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. French Prime Minister Michel Barnier was voted out by Parliament after losing the non-confidence vote just in the country's political and economic turmoil. The decision comes after Prime Minister Barnier's decisions to resort to the controversial Article 49.3 of the Constitution to approve the 2025 budget, which allows bills to be approved without parliamentary vote, was met negatively by both far and right-wing parties. The National Assembly held a debate on Wednesday to vote on 2 motions of censure, one tabled by left-wing party News People's Front and the other by Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally Party. Barnier is now expected to resign after 331 out of 577 lawmakers vote against him. Venezuela's Executive Vice President Delcy Rodriguez visits China to strengthen bilateral relations. Rodriguez was received by the delegation of the government of President Xi Jinping and the ambassador of Venezuela to China, Admiral-in-Chief Remigio Ceballos Icheso. It is expected that during this visit, the Vice President will hold meetings with important authorities of the Asian island to strengthen strategic areas such as economic, technological, and political, among others, that have been consolidated in the 5th stage of the bilateral relations among the nations. With more than 600 bilateral agreements signed, China is Venezuela's main trading partner in the Asian continent. South Korean lawmakers present a bill on Wednesday to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol following the declaration of martial law, which triggered a clash between the parliament and the military. The motion to impeach the president was filed after a South Korean parliament rejected Yoon Suk-yeol to ban political activity and censor the media in that country. Concurrently, civic and labor groups held a vigil to demand the resignation of South Korean president, who had already faced accusations of authoritarian leadership from his opponents and from within his own party. Intention 6 hours after legislators present a proposal to impeach the president, Yoon Suk-yeol read signing the declaration of martial law. In the same context, South Korean Chief of the General Staff, Admiral Kim Myung-soo, had ordered the military to be vigilant and maintain disciplines in the face of potential threats aimed at the country's current crisis. Kim asked his troops to protect the safety of citizens first and foremost, and to maintain a firm posture of preparedness in the face of possible attacks from their northern neighbors. This order was given after the National Assembly lifted the martial law decree by the President Yoon Suk-yeol, precisely appealing to possible aggression from Pyongyang, which were dismissed by all sectors of the country. The President's opponents claim that his administration has wanted to use North Korea to hide the constitutional violations committed. Furthermore, the South Korean Defense Minister, Kim Jong-hyus, resigned aimed at the present crisis in the country. The Chief of Staff was deploying troops has apologized to the people, holding part of the responsibility for the martial law that has generated a political crisis. The government, along with the U.S., promised to define the international order based on rules. Precisely, the President and the former Defense Minister were the main allies in a military operation conducted jointly by Washington and Tokyo on the Korean Peninsula, thus contributing to raising the risk of nuclear confrontations in the area. In the Philippines, a new impeachment complaint has been filed against Vice President Sara Duterte for alleged corruption and institutional offenses. Lawsuit against Duterte was filed Monday before the Audit Commission, charging her with embezzling national funds as well as attempting to cover up irregularities with false reports, recipes, and documents. Subsequently, the House of Representatives will terminate the allegations of veracity, which could take weeks or months.
Attend hearings, and by telling her staff also not to attend hearings, and by telling the Commission ordering or asking the Commission on Audit itself not to submit its findings to Congress. So on this basis, we say that she betrayed the public trust, which is an impeachable offense under the Constitution.
Russia increased its hydrocarbons shipments through the northern sea route by almost 15% so far in 2024, despite Western pressure. Local outlets report that 2.4 million tons of Russian liquefied natural gas has been allocated to Asia through the Arctic routes, exceeding 2023 levels. Overall, Russia shipped 1.33 million tons of liquefied natural gas to Asia and 1.16 million tons to Europe in October, hitting a record of 3.06 million tons, which is 2.5% over 2023. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch interviews, sub-stories, special broadcasts, and more. Subscribe on and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Move on a short break, don't go away. Welcome back. Over 26,000 Palestinians are suffering from serious injuries due to the Israeli aggressions towards the Gaza Strip. The Central Statistics Office unveiled that a figure registered up today poses only 25% of the injured toll in the territory since the escalation of the Israeli offensive in October 2023. The NED detailed that the disabled population is the most affected as it faces humanitarian conditions described as catastrophic worldwide, noting that from 13,400 to 17,500 Palestinians lost a limb or suffered serious injuries that require rehabilitation. The office specified that a third of this population has been hindered by the Israeli siege, which prevents the entry of medical supplies as well as by the constant shelling, which have destroyed hospital facilities. The Gazan Civil Defense spokesperson Mahmoud Basal denounced the appalling situation in the northern region of the enclave, ensuring the Israeli regime is mounting an ethnic cleansing operation. The spokesperson assures that the northern strip has been a target of Israeli operations for the last 2 months, destroying entire families. The diplomat denounced constant shellings on residential areas and homes full of women and children. He further explained that although they are now working with a significant figure of military, their presence in the north is more than necessary than ever. Basal further claimed that Israel does not alert civilians before launching its criminal incursions. In Palestine, the Salfid governorate records more than 321 violations by Israel in the occupied West Bank in the month of November alone. The allegations include the destruction of nearly 300 centuries-old olive trees in several villages in the Palestinian city of Salfid, as well as more than 125 military incursions in which they loot homes and businesses and invade properties, territory, and corpse land with the illegal detention of 21 troops. All of this is part of Israeli expansion in the Palestinian territory. According to the document, the Tel Aviv regime executed 21 roads closure and freed 3 checkpoints in order to isolate the Palestinian population. The Syrian government forces struck positions of territory groups in the rural areas of northern Aleppo and Idlib. This way, the Syrian Army General Command, together with armed forces, reported they had destroyed an operations center and 3 warehouses of the group. Furthermore, the army also eliminated 200 terrorists, among them several leaders. In addition, the forces shot down more than 20 drones launched by the illegal groups against villages and safe localities, while military reinforcements arrived in the city of Hama to strengthen the defense positions of the Syrian army. Syrian Ministry of Defense confirms that they maintain control of the city of Hama in central Syria. According to the announcements, the Syrian troops control the outskirts of the city and hold different outposts. Still, the terrorists have seized some localities and villages which the army is struggling to retake. The military report released early on Wednesday morning also reported the recovery of the Kafra axis northeast of Hama. The ministerial office also assured that so far in joint operations with the Russian allies, 200 terrorists have been neutralized in Hama and Idlib, among them several foreign leaders. And now we're changing topics. The Guarani, a musical genre from Paraguay, was declared intangible cultural heritage of humanity by the UNESCO on Tuesday. The organization's Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage announced the decision during its 19th session, which is underway in the Paraguayan capital Asunción. The Guarani was declared cultural heritage of the country in 2010. Later in 2011, Paraguayan said August 27th the Guarani Day in a homage to the birth of its creator, José Asunción Flores. This musical genre is characterized for being melodious with a slow and rhythmic beat, and for expressing themes related to love, nostalgia for the homeland, the heroism of the Paraguayan people, social problems, and poverty.
Hoy es un día histórico para nuestro Today is a historical day for our country. The guarania created by José Asunción Flores is now intangible cultural heritage of humanity. This UNESCO recognition honors our music, our history, our identity, and the soul of our people. Let's continue celebrating and preserving this cultural jewel. The guarania unites us and fills us with pride.
We have come to the end of this brief, but you can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English and from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.